Hi everybody, Michelle McClunan here, and I'm bringing you an update for the new moon on the 13th of January, which is our first new moon of the year. If you watch this after that, it's also fine because this sets the trajectory really for the month. So if we look at new moons are always times to set new intentions, plant new seeds, and kind of prepare for the month ahead. And the new moon chart that we draw up gives us a sense of what the energy of the month is going to be like. So this new moon is quite a new moon. First of all, the new moon is in Capricorn, which is an earth sign. It's a cardinal earth sign, so a very strong earth sign. And the moon is not that comfortable in Capricorn. The moon prefers to be in Cancer, which is about flow and about water and about emotions. When the moon is in Capricorn, it's kind of a little bit sort of inhibited, and there's not that much of a free flow. This new moon, though, is conjunct Pluto, which means that it's right next to it in terms of degrees. And the degree that it's actually at is reiterating the same degree that we've been speaking about all year, where Pluto and Saturn came together at 22 degrees, and then they kind of moved together throughout last year at 22, 23, 24 degrees. This new moon is conjunct Pluto at a similar degree. So it's almost like an extension of last year. It's different though, but it is an extension of very similar themes. That new moon, or the full moon chart last year, was kind of the ushering in of what transpired last year with that conjunction of Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn. And you can look back on my blog for that post that I actually put out there if you want further information. So the new moon, always time to set new seeds, plant new seeds. In Capricorn, it's often about what are our goals for the year, what do we want to achieve in the outer world. Capricorn's very concerned with what are our structures, what are we achieving, how much are we achieving. It can be the push that gets us going and gives us structure to actually get things moving, but it can also be a little bit merciless because it's always kind of reaching for those goals and very concerned with what you're doing and what you're manifesting. So this new moon's a little bit different, bearing in mind what we've been through the last year and what we're still actually processing this year, as well as when we look at it, we look at the picture even deeper, we see that the new moon, so that means the sun and the moon are in a square aspect. So what a square aspect is when there is a planet here and a planet at 90 degrees to that planet. And that sort of sets up an energy on its own, which then infuses whatever those planets are with that energy. And that is a bit of a combative energy. So we've started off the year with this kind of combative energy, us and them, freedom as versus limitation, moving forward versus not being able to move forward and staying back. And the sort of influences this new moon. So you've got the new moon in Capricorn, which is all about striving for what you need to achieve. And then that is in a square to Mars, which is the forward moving planet, which is in Taurus. So again, concerned with my security, my income, my sustainability. I want to move forward and do stuff. But Saturn and Mars, when they're in a square, it often feels a bit like a handbrake. So we can all relate to that. A lot of our outer goals have shifted and are on hold. In addition to that, Mars and Uranus are together in a very tight conjunction right now. And that is a very fiery conjunction. It's almost like an earthquakey kind of conjunction, where you've got basically possible protests, you've got unrest, unease. It's like an inner unrest, an inner unease, and as well as that being reflected in the collective. So I think over the next month especially, we need to kind of buckle down, hold on to our hats, because there's going to be a lot more change in our world, in our collective, in our community, on our globe. This is a whole process that relates back to last year. It's the process, it's the continuation of the process of the breaking down of the old order so that the new can be reborn. And breaking down is like a death. It's never easy. It always feels disconcerting. It always feels like a little bit scary. So there's a lot of anxiety around at the moment. There's a lot of fear around at the moment. And so I really urge you to just take very good care of yourself at this time, especially for the next few weeks. Sort of maybe try to distance yourself from consuming too much of what's going on in the outer world and focus more on what's happening internally. This for me is a continuation as well as the breakdown of what's not working in our world. It's also the breakdown of what's not working in ourselves. So if we are very outward oriented, if we are very outward driven, if we find our security in doing, in achieving, and there's a slight shift this year. It's to say, if you're not achieving outside, who are you? Do you still have value? How can you build your inner resilience this year? This year, for me, is about the continuation of building our inner resilience. That brings me back to the Capricorn theme. So the Capricorn theme about the outward manifestation, the outward striving and the outward goals. What if we sort of turned that around and said, rather than what do I want to achieve in the world, who do I want to be this year? How do I want to be this year? Do I want to be the way I've always been? Or do I want to shift that? This is a momentous paradigm shift for us. We are realizing with the entrance of Saturn and Jupiter into Aquarius and many other things that are going on globally and planetary wise, we are realizing that we are energetic beings and that we're not just physical. And so if we had to ask ourselves, what would I like to be energetically as opposed to what would I like to achieve in the outer world? It's basically, this is a very powerful time for breaking through patterns of resistance, for breaking through old patterns. That's the energy of Uranus, and which rules Aquarius. That the energy of that is breaking through. So it's almost like a lightning bolt that comes and strikes the earth and says, let's break this up a bit. This old stuff's not working. The way it was isn't working. So what is the new that needs to be reborn? So we need to ask ourselves that. It's a powerful energy of breaking away from the status quo, breaking us out of comfort zones that we might be in, finding our inner strength. And the way that we can do that is by possibly asking questions within us and staying open to answers, not taking either side. And that means taking sides out there as well. Staying open, staying in a place of possible unknowing. I don't know what the future holds. Can I be okay with that? How can I ride this wave of change without resisting it, without saying this shouldn't be happening? But as soon as we say it shouldn't be happening, we're in resistance, and then that adds to the conflict and the panic and the inner turmoil. So for me, really, this is about looking inside, looking at the world as a mirror to what's happening within us. So if we feel angry about what's happening, to look at that anger, to feel that anger. If we feel fearful, to look at that fear, to feel that fear, so that we can move through it. It takes a lot of courage, but this is the time for breakthroughs, and not necessarily breakthroughs on the outside. That's not happening yet. There are a lot of shifts happening. I think that this is going to be a year we're going to be seeing radical new inventions, people coming out with new ways of doing things, new revolutionary ways of doing things. As the net of the digital media kind of censorship, it seems to close in, more and more organizations and people are coming up with different options, where we have more privacy, where we have more freedom, where we have more freedom of speech. That's going to happen more and more as we all realize that there are other ways of living. There are other ways of being. None of us want to be controlled. None of us. We all want liberation. We all want freedom. We all want to be able to just express our light in a unique way and get on with our lives. We don't want to be controlled. So this is, where is the control in the outside world, and how's that reflecting inner control inside me? And can I just ride this wave and build my resilience? So the questions for you this year, or this month, is how do you want to show up in the world? What have you learned in the last year? If you look at yourself now in comparison to a year ago, where are you internally? Never mind the external. Where are you internally? You can look at what you've achieved in the external as well, if you have, and give yourself congratulations for doing that. But more so, just acknowledging that you've actually weathered it and got through it, and that's proven that you can, and that you have got the inner strength to weather whatever comes at you, especially if you're in the center of the storm, especially if you're in presence. If you can bring yourself away from the chaos of past and future, especially future. So the concerns about the future, the worries about the future, the anxiety about the future, if we can bring ourselves back to the present, that's where the peace arises, and that's where we build this inner resilience. So that's where we build our inner power. That's where our inner power exists. So we can ask ourselves, where is our inner power at any one moment? Where is my power? Has my power gone hearing off into the future, the unknown future, or is it here, now? And then to gently bring it back to now, to feel the feelings that arise, because that is the healing and that is the clearing. So as uncomfortable as they might be, to feel them, breathe through them, let yourself know that you're safe enough to feel them, and then move into the next now moment, which is right here. So it's asking, where is my inner authority? You know, do I take my authority from the outside world, from people that are around me, from the media, from the newspapers, from the television? Or do I take my authority from an inner place of knowing? So we also have the nodal axis, which is on the axis of Sagittarius and Gemini, which is really questioning our beliefs. So what are those beliefs that you have, that you've had, and are they still relevant? Do you still believe the same thing? Do you still believe the same people? So it's taking back our power, really. This is what this is. It's taking back our power internally, and then being able to navigate from that place. So that for me is what I see. It's taking what we've learned in 2020 and applying that to the seeds of intention that we're planting this new moon for this new year. So what do we want to be? Who do we want to be? Not what we want to achieve necessarily, because that might or might not happen. But who we are, what we are, and how we navigate it, that we can actually work with, that we can dance with. So I hope that helps, gives you some insight. Just know that it's a little bit of a hairy time. So if you are feeling hairiness and kind of like a bit of a whirlwind, just keep bringing yourself back to who you know you really are. And know that we will navigate these changes. You've navigated up till now, you're still here, you will navigate whatever comes in the future as well. Just keep coming back to that. Look after yourself, care for yourself. That's the theme for the year. Self-care, because that then mirrors out into the world. You might need to rest more, you might need to sleep more, you might need to take more breaks. It's okay, do that. If that's going to build your inner resilience, which it will do, ground more, go outside, put your feet into the soil, bath more, soak in water. That will sort of ease this very airy, kind of staticky energy that's around. It just brings it down and calms it. Yeah, that's about it from me, I think. The other thing is that we have, to support you on this journey, we have launched another Journey to Freedom course. It's a 13-week course, which starts on the 28th of January, and you're welcome to join us free for the first week, in which you get 2 Zoom calls. You get an introduction to the teachings, and you get quite a good foundational level of understanding, even if you don't do the full 13-week journey. Obviously, if you do the 13-week journey, it's designed to do exactly what I'm talking about, to actually build your resilience, to help to bring you into presence, to bring you into alignment with the truth of who you really are. That's what the Journey to Freedom is about. So please check it out. It's on our page, journeysofawakening.com, and join us for the first week. See if it resonates with you. There's a lot. We give you visualizations, meditations, creative exercises, journaling exercises, and then a weekly Zoom call where we go through questions and we do a bit of coaching and counseling. So it's a very exciting journey. This is our 6th one, and the people that have been on our journeys before have really shifted and continue to work with us on our monthly platform, which is another option, which is called Innerspace. And that is, you join for a month, you join for the year, it's your choice. And that is really a support platform. We have 2 Zoom calls a month. We have again some journal questions and some meditations just to support your journey and to keep you on track. You can check that out also on Journeys of Awakening. Just click on Innerspace and you can join us at any time. So that's me for now. I am available again for readings. I've got a couple of week waiting list because it's been a busy start to the year, but you can drop me an email, send me a WhatsApp, and we can set up a meeting or a gathering online to do your chart, to see what's in store for you for the year. It's going to be an interesting year for fixed signs, which is Aquarius, Taurus, Scorpio, and Leo. Give me a lot of change there. So let me know if you'd like any guidance on that. Take care of yourselves, look after yourselves, love yourselves, and know that everything's going to be okay. Everything is okay, and you've got this.